All right, welcome to another weekly Forex cast. I want to get right into it. Last week, it developed some strong momentum dealing with the dollar. It was a bit back and forth. Last week you had CPI. And so initially you see that the dollar came down here pretty much at this level of support. And initially, dollar fell down, found some support, pumped back up, came back down, found another level of support, and bounced. But to end the week, all right, the dollar became shaky and we see the dollar sold back off. So I believe the narrative is still leaning towards interest rates coming likely next month. If not September, then possibly November, if not both. But it's looking like rate cuts could be coming. They could be pricing it in. We could see the dollar continue to sell off this week. The way that this just rejected here on the daily, all right, I believe we could possibly see more downside on the dollar, especially looking at some of the majors and how things shaped up to end last week. So looking at the dollar index right here, it could, I would either say, expect some type of corrective play first and then the break of this low. But especially if price just continues to break this low, then that's a sign that, we're likely definitely heading lower. All right, if you look at this on the daily, if we break this level, then price is likely coming back down towards these levels of demand, down towards 101. All right, looking to the left. So, all right, and this is a major level down here. So it'll be interesting to see if price moves towards that level, towards this level this week. All right. And also dealing with, let's say, JPY. I always see what's going on with the JPY index because, I do like to trade yen pairs often. We can see here on the weekly, we had a strong rejection on the weekly. So after this major price has been overall on the downtrend, you can even look at it on the monthly. All right, the yen has been just overall weak with negative interest rates for so long. Excuse me, but you see when they finally, pumped the rates like they did, a lot of bullish volume came into the yen. You see this monthly candle engulfed the last previous two, basically the last previous 3 months. And then we had a continued pump. But overall, we still are in a downtrend. So now looking at the weekly, the yen rejected from levels of structure. All right, looking to the left, levels of supply structure, and had a strong rejection. So going into this week, we are sitting at a minor level of structure here, a minor level of support, right? That turned resistance on a break and retest. If price holds here, if price holds some type of support and then gives some type of corrective play, all right, we'll have to see how the yen pair shape up with that. But overall, we could be setting up for another fall. All right, so if this continues bearish, we can see the pairs or currencies continue like strength to rise against the weakness of the yen. So we'll just have to see how that play out. Now, dealing with gold, gold actually made my week. Gold made my week. That was really all I needed last week was the sell-off I was able to catch on gold. But you can see that was short-lived, and we just broke into all-time highs. All right, we broke into all-time highs. Strong close here on the daily. All right, look at the weekly. Strong close there on the weekly, breaking above. So we're continuing to make higher highs. So going into this week, like I said, bearish. My bias on the dollar going into this week is bearish. So looking at gold, I mean, I would still only look for buys, especially with price structure shaping up like this with this break. So possibly look for some type of corrective play, maybe a retest before looking for a continued move to the upside. All right, so you can see that one thing about gold is it gives many opportunities. All right, it likes to pull back. It likes to grab liquidity. All right, so with this type of scenario, I would like to see, if I was looking for buys, I would like to see, some type of corrective play, before continuing to the upside. GU. So GU, when I was calling sales on GU, which it didn't play out, but when I was calling sales, it was following the pump of the dollar. When the dollar found firm support, and you can see that this was a manipulated move. Dollar found firm support. Normally with that type of support it found on the daily, you'll see it continue to move to the upside. But we got a lot of fundamental things involving or surrounding the dollar. So that's what led to this. And we see it gave us a rejection here on the 4-hour with the pump of the dollar with news. So I was thinking, okay, let me catch a quick day trade. I was really looking for a short-lived trade down to this level, but it didn't play out. You know, that's a part of the game. But now seeing that it's real clear now, I know the direction to trade going into this week. So if you look at this based off that, from that perspective, we can see on the daily, it formed firm breaker structure on the daily. You even look at the weekly, strong engulfing candle, engulfing like 2-3 weeks, you know, right there after finding support. So I would say continue. I'm looking for this to head up to 1.3. All right, psychological level. But before that, if I was going to catch a buy, I would like to see a corrective move first, slight pullback before continuing up. All right, so you can go down to the 4-hour, you know, some type of corrective play I would like to see. All right, you could take your trend line. All right, and I would like to see a corrective move. All right, give some type of corrective move before continuing. Ideally a retest, but we'll see how things play out early. You know, if they're going to pull back or if they're just going to continue to pump. But if they pull back, right, then I expect, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday to continue into these highs, all right, or towards 1.3. So we'll see how that develops. And again, something that made me iffy after I was selling GU, and these are things to pay attention to just briefly. Euro GBP. Euro GBP is normally inverse of GU. They trade opposite. All right. So when I saw a big dump on EG, that made me, you know, that's when I put into the group, you know, it's best to just cut it short. You know what I mean? But now it's clear they showed their hand. So now we just gotta, you know, we just gotta flow with the market, sway with the market. You know what I mean? So USD CHF. So this was a great buy that I gave up the previous week. And you can see it played, it pumped up. Now I was looking from this perspective, okay, after that buy, maybe at this level of structure, you know, retest this level of structure for sale, right? So it pretty much did retest, because if you look to the left, all right, price retested this wick, which is still a part of price. So it retested structure low, retested structure at that wick, and then it rejected with the dump of the dollar. So if the dollar continues bearish, if the buy stays bearish this week, we could see GBPCHF continue to the downside. So I would look at it from this perspective. You know, you still got a trend line there. It actually rejected the trend line. All right, trend line drone from this lower high to that lower high wick all the way through, and you can see it rejected that perfectly. All right, so now moving forward, as long as the dollar stays bearish right here, you know, I would like to see, we can see on the daily, you know, I would like to see a break, really a break below that daily candle, right? This daily candle right here, a break below here will be even a stronger indication of continued sales. So early on in the week, I mean, it could possibly maybe give some type of pullback first, but if it continues, it gives another leg down right here, then I would say you could continue to look for sell opportunities on the pullback, you know, for the next wave down. All right, that's just a stronger indication or stronger confirmation if it continues this break right here, breakdown. AU, so same thing. AU continued to pump. So when you're looking at AU, all right, when price broke above this level of structure, all right, strong daily break above, you look to the left, broke below, above this level of demand or level of support structure, all right, and then it came back for the retest and continued. So a nice daily close, right? So now moving forward, I would like to see a retest. If I'm looking for buys here, I would like to see a pullback, a retest, you know, maybe of structure high or previous structure right here. So something along the lines of this. You can see that lines up with this level right here as well. And that line is breaking above this level structure. So a retest of that will be ideal, or a pullback, slight pullback, which also can, you know, line up with like the retest of this high. All right, so around 664, 6642, 664. All right, and I expect price to stay above, price to stay above this daily candle. All right, so that's how I will play the break of a structure. All right, now it's just if you can get that pullback, right? Look for the next wave up. After the pullback, you can look for entries, ride this up. So we can see this push back into this level. 0.67 psychological level, possibly higher. It could reach these highs. That's a possibility. If the dollar just continues bearish, continues to dump, then we can expect AU to reach these highs, right? 6.8 psychological level is key, but you see it fell slightly short of that. So, but you can see it reach these highs. All right, EU. Now we can see EU. Now it's reaching potential levels of supply, but the dollar continues bearish, then we can continue to expect this to ride to the upside. See, initially it had this pump. It had this pump right here, pump, retest of structure, continue, right? It pulled back, and this is actually a retest of structure, right, for another potential wave up. So it gave opportunities there on the retest. The daily engulfing, bullish engulfing candle right here. All right, so now you go down to the smaller, let's say the 4-hour. All right, and you can look for a pullback. If they give a slight pullback opportunity, you know, you could look for that opportunity to ride it up. Either that, or if you don't pull back like that and maybe just continue to break this high, right? If it continues to make a higher high first, then it'll probably give a corrective play next, right? So either or, just look to, you know, sway with the market, ride the wave, trade in line with structure, right? That's EU. All right, now moving to some of the yen pairs, GJ. So GJ, now again, it depends on what the yen is going to do. Looking at the weekly on the yen index, it could continue to drop. That looked like an evening star. So we can see here, GJ broke above this level of structure. Looking to the left, it broke above this level of structure, support or demand, right? So price could slightly pull back more, but if it stays the way I see it, if it stays above this daily candle right here, right, which pretty much lines up around this level of support, or it's a little higher than that. But if it stays above there, we could continue to see a move to the upside. So I really want to see how the yen index react at these levels, but this could possibly give another wave down. So if it was from the perspective of, okay, I want to wait and I want to see if price is going to hold or if it's going to give a breakdown. So for me to look for sales and shift to, okay, now I'm looking for sales, I would need to see an impulsive breakdown of this level. All right, if we get an impulsive breakdown, then I would look to sell the potential pullback. All right, but if it's still just corrective and then the yen index sets up to continue to sell off, then I would expect GJ to set up for another wave to the upside. UJ, same thing, because even if you look at the weekly, you know, we had a strong rejection from this level of demand, strong pump up. All right. Sometimes it's tricky when you trade UJ because if the dollar is bearish, if the dollar is bearish and the yen is bearish, then it's, you know, it could be some ranging. But at the same time, a lot of times the yen overpowers because, you know, you'll see more often than not, you'll see yen pairs all trading in the same direction because that's how much weight the yen hold. But if we look at this on the daily, to the left, price broke above this level of demand. So we broke above this strong level. Now it's pulling back. It pulled back with the weakness of the dollar, but also the yen had a corrective, had a slight correction in the week. So this is like a breaker bounce type area because this could be just a pullback or retest on UJ to continue to pump. The only way I would shift to bearish bias is UJ would need to break this level. All right, you could take a trend line here too. But I would need to see UJ break this structure. If we break this structure, then I'm looking for the pullback or retest to catch the next wave. If price don't break that structure, I'm not looking for sales at all. All right, because this could just set up to hold, form bullish price action here, and then just continue up. All right, so the only way I look for sales is until we break that structure. Other than that, the bias is bullish. EJ, same thing with EJ. If we look to the left, all right, price broke above this level of structure demand, right? And now it's retesting. So if price stays above, really above this daily candle, you know, that's a sign that we're just retesting to continue higher here. So same thing with UJ. in order for me to look for, I mean, with EJ here, in order for me to look for sales here, I would need to see an impulsive break of this level. If we get an impulsive breakdown of this level, then I will look to sell the pullbacks or retest for the next wave down. Other than that, my bias is bullish. All right. So a lot of that is it's going to depend on what the yen index does here. If the yen index finds support and pumps, then we're going to see these moves. All right. And one thing about the yen, when it goes, it goes. So I'm going to be patient right here. If it don't get these breaker structures, I won't be looking for sales. Other than that, these could be potential continued moves to the upside. All right. And looking at the weekly close, these are strong weekly closes. All right. So I wouldn't be surprised. Also looking at the yen index on the weekly, the yen index continues to sell off. And then these yen pairs give deeper corrective moves up. All right. So be mindful of that. All right. So those are the pairs on my watch list. I'm going to keep you updated again. If you are new here, this is your first time, be sure to like and subscribe. Also join the Telegram. Everything's going to be in the bio. I'm giving free signals. I'm giving free analysis, free education. All right. Be sure to tap in with Sway Markets, the broker. Everything will be listed. I'm going to be giving everything for free. But to continue and to get into the Discord and to continue to get everything for free, including the education, you're just going to have to sign up for the broker Sway Markets. All right. Under my link and everything that you'll see in the description. All right. Y'all be blessed. Let's catch some pips this week. Man, y'all be blessed.